Can you please introduce yourself and your business to everybody?
Yeah. My name is Lily Abdelmalek. Everybody calls me Lily. And I'm the owner and founder of DSA Sports Performance here in Marietta, Georgia.
I was talking to you a little bit before this about when we first started as the Crush. You were in the first year. You and one of your partners came through and blessed us with an interview. That was almost 9 years ago. What has changed since that first interview for you?
Oh, the business has grown a lot. I was in a small corner area in a gym that I rented out of, and now I have my own facility, over 15,000 square foot facility, so it's been a blessing for sure.
Why this was such a passion for you? We'll talk about what got you into it, but why helping athletes get better, training them, why was this a passion for you?
I think it was just being able to be a part of the process of greatness. Like, everybody's striving to be great in sports. But I found a niche that worked for me, and just kind of being a part of the process, being a part of their journey, you start to care about people and you want to see them achieve their goals. So that's really the one and main thing that keeps me going.
So let's talk about just a little bit getting started in this profession, because everybody thinks they're trainers now. You look, I know everybody out there in somebody's field, but get started in this for you. What made you want to? What got you started and made you want to keep doing it?
I mean, it was as simple as an internship. I went to the University of Florida for school, and we talked about that last time. And I had an internship here in Atlanta with a sports performance company. I was in line for physical therapy, and I just loved that I kind of got the best of both worlds. So I was able to work with athletes who were healthy, and then athletes who were coming off of injury trying to get back into sport. So that's really what kind of started the whole journey with me.
You talk about how has the athlete changed since you started? Because now it's about speed, but you know, there are injuries, there are things. How has the state of the athlete, from what you've seen, changed since you started this?
I think it is the whole aspect, you know, is it used to be like power. Guys used to be bigger. Now you see guys are a little smaller. You know, in basketball, there is no big center like Shaq anymore. You know, like it's almost like everybody's at the same kind of like body type and ability. Even with football, like you got linebackers looking like safeties and safeties looking like corners. You know, you got corners that are about 6 feet now. Like, the game, the body type, what they expect now has changed from a physical standpoint, for sure.
You know, you talk about that. You look at, especially in football, defensive ends running 4.45s because they have to, 6'5", 6'6". What do you do as an organization, as DSA, to stay in touch, to keep them, get them to that optimal level that they want to get to?
Yeah, so we primarily focus on speed training, footwork, change of direction, just overall mobility, being able to move athletically in all different types of sports, while maintaining a good, healthy body through our strength program and reducing the risk of injury. So for me personally, like when I train, like a lot of guys come to me for their speed training. You get guys that want to prepare for their 40s, even baseball athletes that are trying to prepare for their 60s. But I think one of the greatest niches that I also have is my ability to understand footwork and change of direction and what applies to each sport.
How many sports do you train? Which all the sports do you train?
Whew. So I got football's our main sport, and then we got basketball and baseball. We work with lacrosse, soccer players, volleyball girls. I think fencers. Nobody would ever think fencers. We had an Olympian. So that's all around.
I know each of them are different sports, but do you all focus on the same type of agility, speed for all of them, or it just depends on the sport that you come in?
So I think the foundation for speed and agility and footwork with us primarily is the same. Now, understanding what each athlete needs the most of is what differs. So that's a big difference.
So let's take it. I heard you talk about rehab. An athlete gets hurt during the season. Do they come to you, or they might have to go through their team, whatever, and
right.
their doctors. But when you get an athlete who needs rehab, what's some of the things you want to work on forward first? Do you work with what the doctor says, or you look at what can make them get back faster? What are your main
Right. So it's definitely a process. Obviously, they see the doctor or an outside doctor, see what the problem is, and we actually work very closely with therapists. So here at DSA, we have physical therapy with one-on-one therapists, and they're the best around. Chiropractor, massage therapist. So we all work together to make sure that the athlete is able to prepare for the best of their ability. Every athlete is different. Every injury can be different. Even if it's like two people have an ACL, one person is not going to recover the same way another person will. So being able to pinpoint what needs to be done for them to heal as quickly as possible is our main goal.
You work with a lot of athletes, and I saw you did a post on IG about the thrill you get knowing that they came through DSA and seeing it transfer or transition over to the field. How does that feel for you for real? When you see the guy come through, you see the work he put in all summer or all spring or fall or winter, whatever he had to do, and you see the work that he did show up there as just being Lily and what you do, how does that feel for you?
It's amazing, really. I mean, for me to take a step back and realize the kind of professional athletes that walk through these doors is really humbling and just like a raw experience to see. I mean, it's a blessing more than anything. I mean, we got guys like Anthony Edwards, Casey Hayward, who's been with me since his first year in the league. It's really kind of jaw-dropping, but they work really hard, and it's really cool to see how important their craft is and what they put into it to be able to perform the way they do when it's time. So it's really cool to be like up front and center to see it.
So how do you turn off, hey, that's Anthony Edwards too, he got to come here and get this work. He's coming to work and doing the job that they want you to do. How do you, I know you're a professional, but some people be like, yo, do you take it easy because it's this guy, or do you like, no, you walking in these doors, this is what you can expect and this is the work you're going to do?
I'm more of a, you walk into these doors, we got to go to work type of person. So I really don't get starstruck. They're people, they're just a regular human being just trying to achieve a goal, in their life and to succeed. So it's just more whether you're a kid athlete or a professional athlete, they really all have the same goal. And the only thing I know how to do is work. So if you're trying to get that work, then this is where you got to come.
Let's talk about that other aspect. You work with college students, high school students, and young students who want to come in here and work. How do you make them understand that you about to come get this work as well? Because everybody who walks through these doors, they got to go through the program. We're going to teach you to get better. When you look at the younger generation of athletes that you work with, what are some of the goals that you have for them when you work with them?
First and foremost is always making sure that they're safe, that we're able to provide an environment that's controlled and healthy for them to be able to play at a higher level, whether that's travel ball or AAU basketball. But I think the biggest thing is getting them to understand that you can't get from one goal to another goal to another goal without working hard. That's the hard part with me, is that I see the best of the best and I see the work that they put in. So when another athlete comes to me, you come to me for a purpose, and that's to be great, so this is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm. That's funny you say that, because I was an athlete back in the day, and the one thing that me and May still talk about when I show a lot is loving the sport or liking the sport. And sometimes working in here, you find out who really loves it and like it. Do you push when you don't know if they want to be pushed? How do you get to that level? Because a lot of cats, they say they want to work until the work is asked of them. So how do you keep, this is the standard, how do you get them to, work? I'm
going to just refer to this past NFL offseason.
Okay.
But I take great pride in working out with the guys.
Okay.
And I think there's a sense of them seeing that I'm going hard, There's a certain type of expectation I have when it comes into the training aspect. If I could do it, surely you can do it. If I could get through it, surely you could get through it. And I think that kind of sets the standard for me. And I think reflecting on that, even if I'm not training, they understand that this is the standard I have, not just for myself, but even more so for them.
That's an interesting point you bring up, because we do see the videos where you're going through and you're doing the drills as well. You know, there's a lot of drills, a lot of people that come through here. How often do you get a chance to work out, to show, to keep yourself in shape? You know, because it's, like you said, you have to show them sometimes. It's better to show you than tell you, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely love working out with them. And I think, you know, I learn a lot from them, more than they probably even realize. But like I said, because everybody moves differently, everybody has their own little swag to the way they move. Like one receiver, you know, he might hit a release, and it might be a very similar release to another person, but there's a certain swag that he has with it, right? But I think just being able to work out with them, to even be able to appreciate, you know, the art of how they move is how I keep myself going.
How much do you have to pay attention and study the game?
All the
You
time.
just mentioned it right now about the release of a receiver. It could be different for everybody. The way the defensive end might come off the ball, or the way the guy swings his bat. How do you have to pay attention to the game and how much changes in it and what could be done to stay on top of this business?
Yeah, I mean, I try to stay on top of watching their games, you know, making sure that, you know, I'm just up to date with what they're doing and how they're performing. But just, I see it every day, you know, it's just something that is just over and over repetition for me. And for them too, like that's how they get better. It's the repetition of the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah.
That's amazing. To be a female in this, you know, how do you feel about being trusted with males who, you know, egos and male-dominated sports, but they trust you to get them to the point where they need to get to?
Yeah, they do. Which is also, again, like I say, it's always a humbling experience because they could go wherever they want to, really, and they choose to come here. So I think it's definitely, you got to have tough skin, for sure, first and foremost. But I think once you make your mark, then there's nothing else to talk about. Like, the work speaks for itself. And once you kind of establish that, there is no female, male, it's just work.
Okay. And speaking about female, you do have female athletes that come in here. When they're around other athletes, male athletes, there's no cutoff for you. You're like, no, you still got to get this work too, right?
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, there is no downplaying one's ability because everybody has the ability. It's just being able to tap into it for real.
Where do you see this going? I mean, it's already amazing as it is. I'm looking at all these jerseys on the wall. I know
Thank
the
you.
work that's been done here. We see you grow in this. What would you like to continue to do in this? Because this is, we love passion and things that we do, you know. And what would you like for this to keep going?
I mean, I hope it keeps growing. I mean, you see it every day. Like, there's always a new batch of up-and-coming athletes. You know, you got high school baseball players going pro, and you got the college, you know, football players about to go into the combine. So it's an ongoing process. You see new guys every year. But, you know, I don't really know what God has in store for us. I know we're still elevating, so that there's no going down or taking a left turn. Like, we're going to keep growing, maybe get a little bigger. But I know, like, I have a really great team with me, and I think that's kind of what holds everything together. We're really more of a family, and I think when athletes come in here and they see that, you know, it makes them feel good. Like, we're all in here to make sure that we get the best out of each other.
One more question. Let me ask this. I missed it a little bit earlier. Do you travel for athletes?
Yeah, sometimes I travel.
Yeah. And what would that cost? Just to help them out with things? Or?
Yeah, I mean, they got to cover my day of work here, so.
Not cost. I mean, not like that. I mean, but why would they call you to come?
Why would they call me?
Yeah. What would they say? Mechanics. I mean, doing right. Or what would be some of the reasons they ask you to come?
Yeah, I mean, it's maintaining, you know, like if they're going to be gone, you know, with their family on vacation for a week or two. Some guys may have me come with them just to make sure they're still working out and still able to be ready. So that's probably the biggest reason why any guys would have me come out for them.
Because that's what I was thinking. I'm just thinking, you know, you do such great work here, but if I'm out in LA playing, I'm like, yo, Lily's showing me this.
Yeah.
I can do it on the Zoom, but maybe she can come out here and help me out. Because I think the work is something that you need. When you get into the season, you might lose some things, or you might forget some things. You might be able to tell them on the phone, but maybe you can show them in person.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I mean, a lot of it, once guys are in season, we don't obviously see them as much. They have their coaches, they have their strength coaches. So really, when guys are in season, I'm just over here praying that everything works out for them, and that all their hard work in the off season is reflected in season. And we see that, especially during preseason games like with the NFL. But I mean, more than anything, it's more if like it's the off season and they travel, they want to keep their workouts going, and then they may fly us out.
What's the proudest moment for you so far?
Ooh, there's so many. There's so many proud moments. I mean,
This is a proud moment.
yeah, there's so many. I mean, I think I'm just most proud of being able to sit back and see where I started and where I'm at, and for me to see that I can't even like tell you where I think it's gonna go. Like, that's how amazing I know it's gonna be. Like, there's no stopping. It's been 18, 19 years doing this, and I feel great, you know. Like, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. Like, I feel like this is gonna go on for a really long time, and it's gonna get big. So.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
In dynamics of speed and agility, right?
Yeah, that's what stands for DSA Sports. Yeah.
Why did you pick that name? Where did that come from?
I didn't want my name in it because I just felt like it covered the aspect of being an athletic person, being dynamic, being able to have speed, being able to change direction, have that agility. So I think it encompassed just what an overall athlete needs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where can they find you and DSA, and where can they find all that at?
So, like I said, we're in Marietta, Georgia, but my Instagram handle is @Lily DSA Training, and you can find our website and the facility number right there on the Instagram.
Last number. How many athletes have been through it? Do you know?
Hundreds of athletes.
It has to be.
Yeah, we've had it. I
Maybe
mean,
thousands.
yeah, I can't even tell you. It's been amazing. It really has. I've gone through old school players, like we talked about, Garrison Hurst, Keo Spikes, you know, thank God I was able to meet like Demaryius Thomas, some of the greats of the great, you know. It's just amazing. Even Dwight Howard when he was at his prime, you know. It's just, you know, now you see this new revolution of guys coming in, and you know, like, man, these are going to be some of the greats, you know, like it's just amazing to see and be a part of it.
Okay, that's a lot. Real quick, seeing that young talent come in and seeing them grow through the process. And I might flip this early into the interview. What does that do for you, just to see? And I saw when he came in, I didn't think he was going to be that, but I saw the work when he became that.
Yeah, you see that a lot. I mean, you see the changes in one's ability, and it just makes you feel good, you know. I talked to you earlier. I worked with Tamar Johnson, who got drafted. He baseball player, and I started with him when he was in 6th grade, you know. And so to be able to see him develop physically, mentally, from a boy to a man, to be able to handle like an audience such as like the MLB or MILB right now, you know where he's going.
Right.
You know, it's not going to be long until he hits the big stage, and it's just, you just realize like, man, he was just a kid, and now he's, you know, one of the highest paid minor league players, you know, drafted fourth pick, so it's really cool to see. Even like Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
So, and he signed that big max deal and super max deal, right? I can't even say big, super max. So it's amazing to see how they grow, and he's traveling the world, and he's.
Where did you get Jaden?
I'm sorry?
Start working with Jaden.
In 8th grade.
That's what I'm saying. I thought you was there.
I started with him in 8th grade. And so to see him being able to achieve that, it's, I can't even, that's what's so hard. It's like there's no words to describe how I feel seeing that.
Doing that Supermax work, that's what it is.
Man, that's all him and God, for sure.
One of the first names I had to remember. So I'm glad to be able to say it. Lily Abdelmalek. Did I say it right?
Yep.
I remember you first came to the show, like Abdelmalek. I said it like 100 trying to get it.
Yeah.
I think I got it. Thank you so much for
No, thank you for coming.
Crush, Jack, yeah, black on.